Have you seen this? If you loved Rock and Roll High School, your kid brother is going to love the sequel.
Welcome to Have You Seen This?
The world's only podcast about obscure, overlooked, and misbegotten media.
All discussions will be spoiler heavy.
You have been warned.
This show would not be possible without the support of our patrons. If you would like to support our show, join us at patreon.com/haveyouseenthis. Patrons get the show a week early, and $5 supporters also get access to our Discord. Or you can tip us at our Ko-fi. Visit the link in the show notes.
Because that's who it's aimed at.
Yeah, it is. It is supposed to be at the titular high school, but it does feel really junior high.
Yeah, that's something that I noticed is that a lot of toys will be aspirational. It'll be like, this is for little kids, but they show like middle big kids playing with it. It's like, oh, that's what the big kids do.
Oh yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah, so if you're in 7th grade, this is what you're like. Yeah, high school's going to totally be like this.
Yeah, this is definitely for the 13-year-olds in the audience, of which I'm sure there are legion. They love art house movies.
Yeah, but neither of us are qualified to speak about this.
Oh God, no. That's why we have a guest this week, a returning superstar. It is from our Blood Diner episode, which I know you all enjoyed as much as I did. It is Patrick Cosmos. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's great to be back. How's everybody doing?
I am doing
Great.
Okay.
Oh man, how much time you got?
I have seen Rock and Roll High School Forever about 3 times in the last week.
I was acutely embarrassed at prom, and I had a major freak out in front of everyone, and I went into a hysterical fit and ran my car through a brick wall.
Did you lightly sexually assault a preppy girl while you were at it?
No comment. But I feel better now. Yeah.
If you guys think that was embarrassing, I barfed one time.
Oh no!
Oh.
In front of other people?
Yeah, right on the mean teacher.
Wow, your career's over.
But I would think that would make you a legend if it was the mean teacher.
I would think so.
Not on the CEO track. You're gonna get like CFO best. Your career is donezo.
What was it? Was it bad cafeteria food poisoning, stomach virus?
You know, it's funny. I actually don't remember anymore, even though in my real life timeline, I watched that happen like an hour ago.
I think it was a dissected frog or sushi.
Oh, right. Watching her eat the sushi. Yeah.
That is a
Right.
good bit.
Yeah.
Very good bit.
It was.
Now, of course, this is the sequel to the much beloved Rock and Roll High School, directed by Alan Arkin, starring the Ramones, PJ Souls, Mary Warnoff again. The first movie is
a writing credit for Joe Dante on Rock and Roll High School, which I didn't realize.
that fits.
I was not aware.
It does. I could definitely see him working in that movie because it is a very fun movie. I also watched that.
Joe Dante always hated high school too. You can see it in his work.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
he really agreed with Mojo Nixon when the latter said high school is a prison. The first one is just so fun, and I actually did watch that a couple times as well in the last week. Very enjoyable film.
It's great.
Unless you're a lab rat.
That poor
Don't let him anywhere near it.
that one mouse that Mary Warnoff is holding up in her scene discussing the experiments on mice. I felt so bad for that poor mouse. I was like, please put him down.
That mouse has been dead for several decades.
Yeah, I guess, he doesn't have to worry anymore. Rest with the angels.
Right, yeah. Who brought this up? Who brought up the sequel to Rock and Roll High School?
Well, I asked
How did this come about?
our guest if he had a suggestion, and I must give you my compliments, Patrick, because this movie is immaculately stupid.
Yeah, okay, as I told you, first off, I was amazed. It took me like 2 minutes of thinking about it. I'm like, I can't really think of another movie. And this just came like a bolt from the blue as one of these dumb movies. I remember it used to run on Comedy Central in like 1993 all the time, over and over and over again. They ran this. They ran Hollywood Shuffle a lot, which is a significantly better movie than this.
That one's pretty good, yeah.
Transylvania 65,000?
Ooh,
With
significantly
that
worse
constantly.
movie.
Well, yeah. I didn't say it was good. I said Comedy Central played it a lot.
Although Gina Davis looks great in it.
They sure do.
Yeah.
But you were saying, Patrick.
No, this is just a movie that like a handful of these things just like really just jutted out of my memory. Just little images from it. And then when I went back and watched it for this, I realized it was because all I ever saw was like two of the little sketches that make up this movie at a time out of the corner of my eye while I was doing something else.
That's how Tim watches movies.
The perfect way to watch it.
When I was confronted with like the full force of this movie, I got overwhelmed like really fast. It took like 5 minutes into the movie where I was like, "Oh no, it's gonna be like
what
this.
have I done?
Like, it's going to be like this." Like, and true to form, it just kept being like this for like a really long time.
That's why it is a good movie to have on in the background on Comedy Central running constantly, because it isn't a movie that you need to really pay attention to. Like, you can come in at the beginning, you can come in after about 45 minutes, and you haven't missed anything.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, the other movie back then that they played all the time was Kentucky Fried Movie. And these all make sense because all these movies are just sketches. Like, all three movies that I mentioned have a through line, but are just, it's easy to watch for 5 minutes between a commercial break and then go do whatever else. So it makes sense that they were just laying these on real thick in between Mystery Science Theater and Kids in the Hall reruns.
Yeah. Short attention span theater.
Mm-hmm. The vacant lot.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I mean, that's how I got into AbFab, them just running that constantly. And finally, I just, like, gave in.
AbFab is
Like,
fucking great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that is it.
Legendary show.
See, that's Comedy Central just being persistent. It'll make a fan out of you whether you want it or not.
They really had a good thing going for a long time. When they were just a little humble, cheap cable network running stuff like that. That was really great.
Yeah. They had Penn Jillette doing the promos.
Yeah.
Comedy Central.
And ours, the sort of brick wall industrial complex of stand-up comedy was so strong too. So they could just run like Bill Hicks' It's Just a Ride was on all the time.
Oh, wow.
Richard Pryor, I Ain't Dead Yet, they used to run constantly. Like, yeah, man, I watched a lot of TV back then.
Fertile Grounds, yeah.
That was when cable was good.
Yeah.
Now, I must ask the question, was this when America fell out of love with Corey Feldman?
It really does feel like this is right on the bubble of it, huh?
I think so, because this was around the time when he was really addicted to heroin.
A shame he's ahead of the curve because that heroin chic thing came around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a physique.
Right, yeah.
They only have that scene with Mojo Nixon so that they can show him shirtless for a couple minutes.
That's a bad choice. Bad choice.
I'm real confident about that, though.
His nipples are so close together, it's weird.
Just chilling at home.
Bigger than I thought, like bigger than I would have expected to. There's a kind of a wild
Bigger than you would
look
have
for a
hoped.
second.
Yeah. Plus, like, I think he was literally smacked out when they were shooting that scene, according to Mojo Nixon. So.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. Might be getting ahead here a little bit, but I will say, Mojo Nixon, hands down, gives the best performance in this movie. Right? Like, it's not even close. He's so
because
enthusiastic.
He's playing Mojo Nixon.
And he's so enthusiastic about it. And he's like, every other character has like these weird moments where stuff trails off, or they're like literally making the wrong face for the emotion they're supposed to be having and stuff. And Mojo Nixon is just in this one scene, cash the check, shows up and just goes for it. It's awesome.
Yeah, the movie does wake up a little at that point.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him. I mean, I'd only seen his video for We Are Elvis on Al TV. I mean, I like his work well enough. I just am not that familiar with it.
I found out about Mojo Nixon from the Dead Milkmen song, Punk Rock Girl.
That's kind of those are all kind of in the same milieu.
Yeah, Al TV, Dead Milkmen. You know, kids like those things.
So it's good to see him in this, bringing his mojo to the movie.
Definitely I guess the closest spiritual thing you could get to the Ramones or something like that in a movie like this, that would be like available.
And
True.
The thing about the sequel to Rock and Roll High School,
Rock and Roll Junior College.
There are a lot of things about this which make it inferior to the original, a common sequel problem. But when you don't have a band like the Ramones, the thing about the Ramones is that they were so perfectly punk. Like there's a line in the original where Dick Miller plays a cop and he just says like ugly people. And it's like, yeah, they really are, but that's pretty punk rock, isn't it? Like and PJ Souls
cool.
is like mooning over Joey Ramone the whole time. She's like, he's so handsome, he's so sexy. And I'm like, I guess like
No pizza for you, Joey. More wheat germ, riboflavin.
One thing that this movie doesn't have that it could really use is a character that's just like dumb and cool. Everybody's like mugging and they're too like broad of like an archetype to just have a couple dudes who are just like dumb and cool. Like that's kind of there. It's awesome.
Are you saying that the black friend, the Asian, and the girl are broad archetypes?
I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're onto something. Yeah.
I had noticed for a long time too, like the girl in, because I guess it's the four of them that kind of form a band, but Leanne Curtis is the girl, and I think she has barely enough lines to qualify for SAG. I think she speaks like thrice in the entire movie.
She smirks a lot.
Right, yeah.
She does have a couple of the best bits in the movie, but yeah, like the Corey Feldman percentage is like extremely high, maybe higher than it should be.
It's just crazy how often this movie, like, it's showing Corey Feldman a whole bunch. That's like not that surprising. The way that it cuts back and forth between him acting in a scene with everybody else, him occasionally doing this Malcolm in the Middle style third wall breaking or fourth wall breaking, it's just weird. Like they can't pick a lane and they want Corey Feldman in all capital letters everywhere in this movie, and it really, really screws it up.
Yeah, and the deeply ironic thing about it is that, yes, this was definitely a movie which was, they were going to sell with the power of Corey Feldman's face and name. However, as I alluded to earlier, he was sort of beginning to fall apart at this point. He was addicted to heroin.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing, yeah, is that when they lean too much on Corey Feldman, the movie kind of like lives and dies by Corey Feldman.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and I got to push back a little bit on this being a tipping point for Corey Feldman, because this is 1991. What I didn't realize was that 1992 is a big year for him because he is in Meatballs 4.
Oh, yeah. That's where they really reinvented the Meatball saga.
Yeah. The third sequel is always the weird one, and then the fourth one is kind of a return to form. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think
4.
Yeah, the Halloween movies kind of follow the same arc as the Meatball saga.
Yeah.
I can't speak to that, having only seen the original Meatballs, but I'll take your guys' word for it.
How on earth are there 4 Meatballs movies, dude?
They always leave you wanting more. It's just, you can't have enough meatballs.
Like I was gonna say, yeah, and jumping off of that, like the really ironic thing about this movie is that it's like, oh, we've got the star power of Corey Feldman. Well, he got busted for heroin possession and basically became like, can you imagine, like, this was a time when being merely addicted to drugs, which is very common in this country, let's be real, was enough to get you like kind of blacklisted. So it was bad enough that this movie didn't even get a planned theatrical release. It was like, oh no, that's like too hot for TV because we got a heroin addicted star. Like, just imagine.
Well, it was in the midst of sort of, Bush's, say no to drugs, or actually, hell, Reagan's say no to drugs. Like it's written right on the statue.
Yeah,
and so,
which does inform the movie, as you pointed out. Yes.
Yeah, which maybe that's a hard sell, saying like this heroin addict is the lead in this movie, ostensibly for kids.
No, they don't have.
Maybe that's just as a bad look.
They don't have a problem with him, like, basically sexually assaulting another student. They don't have a problem with him, like, basically demanding to be groomed by a female teacher. Like, that's all fine. Mm-hmm. But drugs, no way.
Hey, one thing at a time. This is still Hollywood, after all.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. And, like...
Yeah, also all this stuff is still, like, fully legal in 1991.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not, we don't really experience a sea change in that regard until the 2000s, and it's later in the 2000s than you remember.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because what does he say? Like, hey, if I was 24 and you had 28 or 28, that'd be okay. And it's like, and I'm doing the math, and I'm like, I don't want to do the math on this.
Yeah, it still begs the question, Mr. Corey Feldman, that she is still in like a position of power over you, a student. But hey, whatever. I guess like back then it was living the dream to
I'm gonna push back on that too.
please.
Yeah.
She appears to be like, okay, she is a substitute teacher who's like permanently there.
She lives at the school.
Who teaches one class that he's not in. I honestly don't think the power dynamic. He's like the king of the school, sort of. So I kind of don't think the power dynamic is as off as you think it is.
Well, he makes the case like he doesn't study, ergo he's not a student. QED, they can date.
Yeah.
But she does.
That too.
She does say that she can put him in detention for a very long time, though.
Oh yes, put me in detention. I've been a real bad student.
Honestly,
Which
I'd
they
like
also
to
have
see her
in
try
the movie.
Indeed.
I said honestly, I'd like to see her try that. I'm not 100% sure she can actually pull rank and do that. She does not strike me as a real teacher.
Right.
Well, after
But
her,
she puts on such an inviting performance comparing classical music to football.
They're ostensibly in like the bad kid class. It's like all football fans somehow. Even like the nerd preppy guys are all football fans.
It's one of those easy A electives.
There's a lot of stuff that high school is not like in movies about high school. This isn't like high school or like a high school movie. That's ridiculous.
It's a very nice lecture hall that the woman is teaching an arts elective in, which again doesn't read like high school.
I don't know, maybe it's like one of those weird magnet schools or something, and they're all actually gifted kids.
Maybe on the football field, but they're falling asleep in class. And also, it's a class of like 9 people. So
Yeah. Well, you know, small.
I guess they
small
just had a
class
surplus
size.
budget.
It's very,
Yeah.
you know, that's a very positive thing for students to have that, you know, that ratio of teacher to student.
right,
But
that's true.
I have to say, like, and this is where like bad comedies like really fail. It's when they have a bit that just doesn't work, and like
It's the world building.
her like classical music is just as exciting as football thing. Just makes her look insane. I'm like, this is not cool, and like nobody would know what the fuck you were doing. Like, I'm sorry. Like this just isn't believable.
Jen, it sounds like you don't really appreciate classical music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I've
Yeah.
been meaning to tell you to communicate that to Jennifer Miller Hamill the next time you see her. I actually don't like classical music.
You just turn the radio off. I don't know how they're able to have like an arts elective class for a pretty niche subject and like an advanced subject for high school. But more than that, I think that budgetary wise, they wouldn't be able to do that because they're putting all their money into turning the school into a penitentiary. I don't know how they're able to do both those things. The movie doesn't make sense. Or maybe it's prescient.
I will say that scene, despite the main thrust of it not working at all, it does have one of the parts of the movie that legitimately made me laugh out loud. And it's when she gets everybody fired up and then she says the team scored a touchdown and everybody cheers. And then the one dude, the dude who plays Rusty in Christmas Vacation.
From European Vacation, yeah.
European Vacation. He just looks at her and says something about how he hopes they get the extra point. Like, he's so enthusiastic, and it's such a weird thing for him to say. This movie has a ton of those. So many of these scenes, which I can't stress enough, they're all like just independent sketches. So many of the scenes end on like the weirdest note. Like there'll just be a stray line or a weird face that isn't funny. It's just totally weird, and then they'll just cut really abruptly away from it.
We had a little extra comedy. We didn't know what to do with it.
The entire
stuck it in at the end.
entire movie ends like that because like the last thing before they cut to the credits is like the fake Corey Haim sidekick character like just saying something random and then it credits. It's like, okay, weird way to end the movie.
Oh, right. He makes a callback to something right at the beginning.
Yeah, but it's like it's not that funny.
Jen, you need to give well, yes, but You need to give the movie a close read to understand that at the beginning there's a very important setup, and now we have a very weak payoff after the movie's already over.
Have we swapped places somehow? Because usually I'm the one like reading like deeply into a movie that doesn't deserve it, and you're the one saying like, Jen, shut the fuck up.
I don't know. You're the one who doesn't understand classical music. Perhaps you should listen to Mozart in the Morning on KUSC. I don't know.
Shouts out Jen Milham. No, I would rather.
Right.
I
yeah.
would rather.
No, I didn't have a punchline for that, but maybe we can just let the bit go on a little too long. How's that work?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Personally, I would rather listen to classics like Tutti Frutti.
Oh, right, that punk rock song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because what could be more punk in the 80s than just playing a bunch of 50s standards?
And this is what I was trying to get at earlier when I brought up the Ramones, is they don't have... Well, they do have a little bit of the band like Pursuit of Happiness, but it's not like that band like plays a part in the movie. Like they're not characters in it.
The Pursuit of Happiness stuff is really weird because they do the theme song, which is atrocious. And then like...
That's all you ever hear.
And
it's so catchy,
and then
though.
They've got this single, but then they had one actual single, and that's in it, but it's only in it on the radio when the DJ is advertising like the band contest thing. So they basically have product placement in the movie. It's really weird.
For a band that's contrived just for the purpose of the movie?
No, they're a real band.
Oh, okay.
They just happen to write the theme song also, and they're not like in the movie. Yeah, they're like a Canadian power pop band.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember them appearing on Beavis and Butthead with Cigarette Dangles, I think the song is called, which is a good
right.
song. Yeah, but in this they just like appear like on a TV set at one point. But
Well, because music was an important part of the original Rock and Roll High School. Probably the name is kind of a giveaway.
right, and that's
So I can see why they wanted to do the same thing here.
well, and that's what I'm kind of getting at is that this is where they really fall down because you don't the band that the action kind of centers around is the fake band headed by Corey Feldman called the Eradicators. And I really can't convey to the audience, like, I know that Corey Feldman has been very earnestly trying for many years to put across his music to an audience. He believes himself to be a musician and a performer, but I can't tell you, like, how much he just drags everything down because he can't like he's got like his Michael Jackson moves, but he cannot fucking sing like at all.
No, I will say though, the other most consistent laughs I got out of this movie were every single fucking time he hit a Michael Jackson move, I laughed. Every single solitary time. Because he'd do like some other little like rock and roll dance and be running around the stage. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I know he's going to do it. He's going to put his hand up or do like the funny thing with his legs. It's going to be awesome. And then within 10 seconds, he would do it. And it just killed me every single time.
Yeah, it's just setup and payoff. That's the key to comedy.
Yeah.
And like they used to hang out, right?
Yeah. I don't have it open right now. Actually, probably do have a tab. So I guarantee you there's an entire section about his relationship to Michael Jackson in his Wikipedia page.
Right.
And that's true. Personal life, drug and alcohol abuse, friendship with Corey Haim, friendship with Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Hey, perfect.
Also, sexual abuse allegations made by Feldman, sexual misconduct allegations against Feldman. So a lot going on. Real roller coaster ride.
Oh man, I should have had you on to talk about the rape of two Corys.
Oh God.
I haven't seen it.
That's the one that he did, right?
Yes. Yeah, like they tried they made a big deal about debuting it like via streaming, and then it turned out to be like just a big boondoggle basically. Like people had paid money but they're like, what the fuck, the stream isn't working. And then it was kind of like,
and the
just
soundtrack
kidding.
for it was terrible.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, they tried to have some hits by Zillion Kisses, and it didn't pan out. It was really shameful.
I think Zillion Kisses sound like an all right band for what they are.
Yeah, that's what The Rape of Two Corys was missing, though. A killer soundtrack. The movie could have gone places, I'm saying.
It's the spoonful of sugar that would have made the medicine go down. if you will.
Yeah, it's what makes the Jesus juice go down.
Go down on a Hollywood executive. Otherwise, it's your job on the line. Haha. Anyway, the band in this movie they're not like bad per se, like such as they are. It's just that it's like they're just doing like covers of old like 50s rock songs, and then like one like kind of terrible song like apparently written by Corey Feldman. And it kind of makes...
You can tell when it changes over to the original music, which is not as good.
It's not 12-bar blues or whatever. You can kind of understand why the Eradicators have to basically like stack the deck every single time to try to get themselves over. Because they're constantly like just trying to fool people into booking them.
Also, though, canonically, there's only 2 bands in this universe. Depending on whether or not Mojo Nixon actually exists in the universe, or is just like a Freddy Krueger type, like dream entity.
He's a force of nature. He's the spirit of rock, man.
And there's 3 bands because you do see the Pursuit of Happiness on television, but it's established that that's like a real band.
Yes.
So
right.
A Zillion Kisses and the Eradicators are the only bands, and they have to cheat.
So you could say that you're one of the top 2 bands in rock and roll high school. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just really feel like A Zillion Kisses didn't get a fair shake in any of this.
They probably should have transitioned to a more new wave sound. I think that probably would have gone over better.
When you go to the Wikipedia page for this film, it says here, Mark Governor and A Zillion Kisses, Love at the Laundromat. And there is an outgoing link to SoundCloud for Love at the Laundromat.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
I'd love to tell you what was there, but it's a dead link when you click on it.
Oh.
But that doesn't really seem to meet Wikipedia's criteria, like their sort of basic rigor. That's a little weird. I didn't take very many notes on this movie, but one thing I did write down was the question, can a movie write its own Wikipedia page? And jury's out, but this movie does appear to have written its own Wikipedia page.
I was wondering if perhaps the Wikipedia page might have been written by the person who made the documentary that I sent to the 2 of you.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch the documentary. I'm very eager to hear about it.
Oh, no!
I can see that because it is very thorough.
It's so... Okay,
Well, I mean, more power to him. I tried writing a Wikipedia entry for one of the movies we reviewed and it got smacked down.
Yeah, hard.
They're like, no, your sources suck. And like, fair. No one cares about this movie.
Man.
No one but me. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, what about your edits to the article on Musetta Vander?
I mean, yeah, like those have stuck around.
That's
People
good.
will always know that she was in, the Oblivion movies.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right.
She's a bright spot in those movies because, oh boy. But yeah, so I sent, when I was researching this movie, I found a documentary made by a fan of specifically Rock and Roll High School Forever. And apparently there is like
not a fan of the first one. Just woof.
I guess.
I don't know.
Maybe they just hate.
No, it's fine.
Maybe they hate punk. I don't know. There does appear to be a bit of a cult following for this movie. A small one, but a cult following nonetheless.
Yeah,
and
people who saw it on Comedy Central. Like, how else would you get like just inundated with it?
Yeah, actually, not a lot of people will be surprised to find out that Patrick actually appears in this documentary with his audio just like repeatedly cutting out, because that's the funny thing about this fan-made documentary. And when I watched it, I assumed that perhaps it had been made in the early 2000s, and that which was a time when there was like, I don't remember when Skype first came around, but like voice over IP wasn't as ubiquitous or as good as it is now. So I was like, oh, that's terrible. Like maybe like he obviously like he got like interviews with cast members and, the director of the film, Deborah Brock. But, maybe like the technology just wasn't there for like really clean audio. No, he made it in 2020.
Right. The audio over voice over IP audio is especially not good if you are pointing a mic at your computer's speakers. I think that's the problem.
That's also in keeping with the vibe of the original movie, which both literally and canonically takes place in 1991, and like 100% does not feel that way. When they do the radio ad for the contest, the DJ says that they're looking for the hottest sound of the 90s, and it feels fucking crazy that he says that. Like,
Yeah.
just like out of step.
yeah, this movie feels very out of time. But it doesn't. If you told me 88, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, because
91
if you're trying to
feels
find like the defining
crazy.
sound of a decade 1 year in,
yeah.
that's what's happening in this movie. Like, no, we're done. We got the sound of the 90s. We can go home early.
Like, there's a chance that this movie came out after Guns N' Roses put out Use Your Illusion and like Nirvana put out Nevermind.
Right.
They're at least contemporary with one another, and that
Yeah.
I'm not alone, right? That feels like
Right.
coming unstuck in time a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
sea change because it kind of exists in the like it's like the spirit of the 80s, but it has been updated to the 90s, but it hasn't really found its footing in one or the other.
Yeah, that's a pretty common conception, I think, with people who are decades away from stuff. Like, you don't think of like Depeche Mode's Violator coming out in 1990. 1990 feels like the 80s in a very similar way that Y2K stuff feels like the 90s. So it makes sense, but at the same time, just given the vibes of this movie, just feels crazy off. Like they're just covering these songs from the 50s.
Which is still very much an 80s thing.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Kids in 1991 loved Fats Domino.
He was doing the
also
twist.
The guy who played Rusty was also in Night of the Creeps, which is another 50s, 80s movie.
Yeah.
Good point.
I think I mentioned Night of the Creeps last time I was on here, too.
It's a movie worth mentioning.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
For our listeners, check out Night of the Creeps.
Yeah, I saw that as a kid.
That's a good one to see as a kid. This one,
Right.
not so much. And yet we watched it anyway. Although I have to confess.
Where's this an adult?
I did, like, enjoy this movie in, like, a weird, awful way. I think because it was, like, so dumb and just such a kind of, like, really pathetic retread of what made the original so charming.
If the movie didn't aggressively telegraph the fact that it's a sequel to Rock and Roll High School, would you understand this movie as being a sequel to Rock and Roll High School?
that
Even if they kept the title, if they
Yeah.
kept the title and everything.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't know that this was a sequel to that Ramones movie, I don't know that it would. I'd be like, oh, that reminds me of that Ramones movie. That's like as far as I would ever get. Not
well,
that this
and
was
they're
like
so shameless about it that they have Corey Feldman say at the beginning, it's Rock and Roll High School Day. It's the day when we just do whatever we want. It's like, yeah, okay.
To commemorate when they burned down the school for the first time.
Man, people used to like not get so uptight about arson.
Yeah, so was like Rock and Roll High School a documentary then? Did these events actually happen?
Dude. Yeah. PJ Souls was really that into the Ramones, such that she
They actually
hallucinated
blew up
them in
mice.
her bedroom.
Right.
I do love
as more attractive.
I do
somehow.
love the recurring mouse bit in the original.
Yeah, it's great.
Like the fact that it's a like a a light little comedy about like high school kids, but then they have these like surreal bits like a giant mouse going to a concert.
Yeah. It has that kind of like gross trashiness, that kind of like Corman X factor to it. That I think is partly what made the first one so appealing.
Yeah.
When I think of Rock and Roll High School, I used to watch that a good amount, and it would always get watched alongside like Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Ooh.
And there was just like an era of like the really dumb vanity movie for bands that we really got to get back to.
I don't know where you'd start with that.
Yeah, I do kind of miss that. But that's the thing, and it occurred to me as I was watching both of these movies, really, because, for better or worse, both of them center around rock and roll as like a signifier of youthful rebellion, and, dare I say it, anti-fascism, because they do evoke Ronald Reagan in the negative several times in the sequel.
Right.
But rock and roll,
establishment,
as a cultural force, is completely spent. Like it's honestly a little weird to watch these and be like, oh yeah, like rock used to be like the dominant genre, and now it's just like it's like purely nostalgia at this point.
They're not going to get like the National to make a rock and roll high school. Coldplay aren't walking through that door.
Ugh.
Probably not. Yeah.
God,
Shame.
that movie
I
would
think the last
suck.
good example we have. Oh yeah, I think the last good example we have of a band having a sense of humor and doing something like that is the episode of South Park that Korn are in, and Korn just play like the Scooby-Doo gang, basically. Like, that was funny and interesting, and probably the last time I can think of where a band like sort of like shook off their cool enough to do something like that.
Yeah, or like Alice Cooper in Wayne's World. But again, that's a movie from what, like 1991
Yeah.
or something. Thereabouts.
Oh my
God, was
god.
it?
Yeah, the idea that this movie would be a contemporary of Wayne's World is also fucking crazy.
Yeah, because it is very much like 5 or 6 years stuck in the past. I mean, not least of which because like our protagonist, who's supposed to be like some kind of anti-establishment kind of punk rock guy, but also like he drives around in like a Cadillac with his buddies. I'm like, this is very like middle American suburban, like privileged youth kind of signifier. Yeah, no, this doesn't feel like, Wayne and Garth in like the Mirthmobile driving like a beat up old gremlin with like their two friends like
Yes.
crammed in the back seat with like a dodgy paint job. Like that felt more real rather than just like that kind of like preppy aspirational 1980s attitude that this movie displays.
Yeah, and in I hesitate to say defense of this movie, but at least this movie like establishes very early on that it's not like that it's extremely hyper real and goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the first things I said to myself watching this was like, where on earth does Corey Feldman get his money?
Also, a good question. Yeah, it's probably taken out of like the defense budget. It's just like largesse from like the Pentagon. Just like, I don't know, we need to ship like 20 boxes of M80s to San Leandro, whatever.
The imaginary aspirational combination 1950s, 1980s, 1990s was our last era of true abundance in America. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, that's
fair
really
enough.
true. Speaking of suburban abundance and whatnot, can anyone explain to me the bit with the refrigerator?
No,
it means nothing. It goes nowhere.
No, I got mad when the lady started screaming. I was like, because I was like,
that's not a punchline.
This going someplace. It's escalating. They're doing stuff. Like, this was a really stupid thing. It felt at the beginning like I don't know, like a Lonely Island sketch, like something you'd see in Hot Rod, where like something just happens and it's weird and it escalates and it just goes away.
Yeah.
But instead of it being a goofy little song that just stops, it escalates and then the lady starts screaming and it's over, and I was fucking furious. It's like, what? I paused it and didn't come back to the movie for like a day. It's like, this is
I need to reflect on this. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah. I had to go like evaluate choices I made. I was using the diary. Like, I really had to hash some stuff out with myself.
Right. Yeah. That'll drive you to heroin for sure. Mm-hmm. Because you're wondering too, like, are they doing it as a bit? And why are they putting so much effort into it if it is?
Yeah.
And if it's not, what else is going on here?
So they're looking at the want ads to find a refrigerator to do this thing, and then they mention it to one another like it's a recurring thing that these guys go and do.
Why do they need a refrigerator?
I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah, I think you have to like really like peel up several layers of cultural strata just to have like some kind of like appliance fetish, like buried under like consumerism, under that like 1950s sort of era of prosperity, where I don't know, perhaps you can read it as like a cargo cult, like recalling more prosperous times. Mm-hmm. But it's buried so deep and so twisted, and it's unrecognizable. It's just this goofy bit that comes from out of nowhere, goes nowhere, and then leaves without a punchline.
Yeah, because the premise is essentially that this Corey Feldman and his friends, the Eradicators, they go to suburban houses pretending to be religious figures.
Like evangelicals, yeah.
Yeah. And then they do a weird little dance around said appliance. And then at the end of the dance, they all open their coats, flasher style, to reveal that they're all wearing like colanders and
Like
shit.
Yeah, just like cooking paraphernalia. Maybe we should move on. I think Patrick might have like frozen. Just like
He's doing more
well, I'm like-
reflecting on his life choices.
right, just
I'm
headphones down.
I'm sincerely doing like forensic analysis on this sketch, trying to figure out where the germ of this idea comes from. I know that when you're like kids and you're just dicking around, you're in high school, you will come up with these like elaborate bits and just go and do them.
Yeah,
But like, so the presumption here is that somebody with a hand in writing this movie like did something like this, and they thought it would be funny to put it in the movie. The problem is it wasn't fucking funny to put this in the movie, and like now I'm just
minor quibble.
Yeah,
It's not funny and doesn't serve a purpose.
it's like when someone is telling you a bad story that doesn't go anywhere, except it's a whole ass scene in a film.
Right. Yeah. Like I've had people describe like their dreams to me, or it's like telling someone about like your game of D&D that you weren't at. It's like, why are you telling me this? Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Glad you're having fun.
Yeah, and
Yep.
this is kind of a hallmark of bad comedy where it's like, okay, well, we don't really have a premise as much as we just kind of have a bit that's zany. And
We freak out a fat woman in a house dress.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
see, it's funny because she's fat and ugly.
Her
Yeah,
husband's
she's,
like taping it and stuff. They're thrilled by it up until she starts screaming.
Yeah.
Like the tone of it's even off.
Yeah, and then there's a part, and then at the end when, like, because her husband is, like, really into this for some reason, he's, like, he grabs his camera and he's taking pictures, and he says, I forget how he phrases it, but he basically implies that he's going to sell the pictures to a tabloid, because he says, like, wait till the Inquisitor sees these. And I was like, okay, first of all...
tabloids were big in the 80s.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, first of all...
I'm sorry, in 1991.
First of all, you haven't established your fake tabloid. You can't just say the Inquisitor and expect people to know what you're talking about. Like, you can say National Enquirer. That was a thing that people were aware of at the time. Like, just...
Okay, look, we're just going to have to forget the rest of the movie and try and parse out this bit. I've already locked all the doors. We're going to go through this frame by frame and try to understand what the joke was.
Maybe the idea is that they're infidels and he's taking photos for proof and he's bringing it to a literal Grand Inquisitor.
Oh, yeah.
There
maybe.
we go, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some sort of Grand Inquisitor of appliances.
Yeah,
Some
it doesn't
sort of like fascist figure with like a metal claw.
yeah. It doesn't improve this scene in any meaningful way, but it is much more interesting to think of it that way.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, I feel better now knowing that there actually isn't a way to understand this scene. It wasn't just me, like, not getting it. It's actually just like a
No, there's nothing to
wacky
get.
bit that
Yeah,
goes nowhere.
no.
So I do feel better. But
Yep.
that reminds me, we would be remiss if we did not speak about Mary Warrenoff, an icon.
Yes.
and who
She's-
plays
she's-
the same authority figure in the original.
Yeah, like they punted big time. They were like, okay, we need it. We need a new villain. Like, you know what? Let's just get Mary Warrenoff back.
Yeah, how are we gonna beat that? The problem though is that the cultural sort of tastes of change were like the original principal character that she played was sort of like a sort of snobs versus slobs Animal House sort of authoritative antagonist.
A nurse
But now
Ratchet,
she's like a
if you
Saturday.
will.
Yeah, but now she's more like a Saturday morning cartoon villain.
She's
So-
like Dr.
I mean,
Claw from
literally
Inspector
Dr. Claw
Gadget.
from Inspector Gadget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Big step down thematically, I want to say.
She's literally like an ironclad fascist, and it's really overt too because she's got like the long gray coat and like the pseudo
Yeah.
SS insignia.
This slick black hair, yeah. Well, it is a
model
simple
of
movie
the
for
school as a concentration camp sitting on her desk.
right.
Dude, it's just
You need
like
to
real
paint in
high
broad
school,
strokes.
am I right?
Yeah. If I ever get to high school, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rebel so hard because I live a comfortable lifestyle where all my needs are met. And what could be
It's not
more
how
punk
Mojo
rock
Nixon
than that?
sees
Right. Well, yeah.
And this is sort of funny because when this character is introduced, she is in her dimly lit office with her goons, and behind her is like a sort of a classical portrait, like a it looks like a Roman statue in profile or something like that. And I actually asked yesterday on Blue Sky because I couldn't place the image. I was like, who is that? I assumed it was like Cato or somebody like that because
Pliny the Elder.
Cato was a real big asshole. But and that kind
For
of
real.
fits because like yeah, she's gonna have like some kind of like fascist ideal behind her. And I got one reply from one of my mutuals.
No one ever replies to my posts.
Well, Tim, you got to ask more questions about Rock and Roll High School
Yeah, I guess.
Forever.
Yeah, fair.
I got one reply from a mutual who said it's Lazzaro Spallanzani.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
who? So I looked up Lazzaro Spallanzani. According to Wikipedia, he was an Italian Catholic priest, biologist, and physiologist who made important contribution to the experimental study of bodily functions, animal reproduction, and animal echolocation.
He also invented rock and roll
So you can see
and the
why
high school.
she
Yeah.
would have his picture in her office. And I was like, okay, like, I'm going to guess that this was straight up an error on the part of the production staff because they probably were like, oh, she's got a picture of Cato the Elder in her office. We have this engraving of a guy in profile. I think it's Cato. Yeah, that's good. Put it up. I'm convinced that's what happened here.
This might be antithetical to the entire project here a little bit, but maybe we got to just not think about stuff.
Yeah, Jen, approach this as if you were 8.
Tim, I watched a whole documentary on this film in spite of the poor audio. I am well around the bend at this point.
Is there a picture of a mean-looking old dude that we can use?
And the thing is, Tim, if I don't talk about my trauma, it's going to fester. I really need to express
that's
this.
evident. Yeah.
Do you guys remember that scene with the refrigerator? That was crazy, huh?
Yeah, let's dig into that more. I feel like we haven't explored that territory. We almost got it. So yeah, Corey with like his buddies, they're living their comfortable lifestyle. They're just like dicking around, worshiping a refrigerator, playing music, just applying to like play at the school prom. They're just doing like teenager shit.
Being delinquents, causing property damage,
Being delinquents, yeah.
assaulting other students.
Corey Feldman is skateboarding all over the place, clearly filming his own stunts and being good at it.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
Man, wish that was me. The thing that I wanted to mention though is that because we're talking about how this is kind of a movie out of time, like this does have like kind of Back to the Future vibes, not just the like celebration of the 50s in the 80s, but it does like hinge so much on like their high school band being successful and like them having to audition. But I also noticed too that Corey Feldman and his band, they are about as punk rock as Marty McFly. So again, like a big step down from the original.
The original Back to the Future, of course.
Yeah. Well, the Rock and Roll High to the Future. Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't
Back
have a
to Rock and Roll
song
High,
as
I don't
strong as Power of Love.
That's true. The Power of Love is a curious thing.
Now,
I've read it somewhere.
Now that was a band with punk attitude to spare. Huey Lewis and the News.
Mm-hmm.
Real.
The Hip to Be Square band.
Yes. They were commenting on changing social mores.
True that.
Yeah, you can be a preppy or a dweeb or a young Republican or a yuppie. Like that's the way the wind was blowing. But man, Corey Feldman and his group of merry pranksters were fighting against that.
You can be a Vato in second period lunch with a Mac 10.
Yeah, you can be a coffee achiever.
That's a weird visual bit.
That was really something, huh? That was like, okay, so yeah, to fill the listener in, when the mean new principal shows up, she desperately needs to break up the Eradicators. And she does that by unilaterally changing their schedule of classes in high school. And two of them get third period lunch, which is crazy. That's what, like 10-15.
Yeah, that's
And
really late in the day.
It's and they use a sort of environmental storytelling to indicate that third period lunch is bad kid lunch.
Right.
And they do that using more environmental storytelling, which is racism. So, like, so they show up, and there are black people listening to music, and then
Which you know is trouble.
some like Latino dudes also listening to music, and
Because
then
music is the cultural center.
yeah.
Yeah.
And these dudes are all of a sudden they're anti-music and anti-rebellion. And the one dude gets shit on by a bird, and then they go inside, and that's the last we hear about third period lunch.
It turned out that the making that move on their schedule was really the best thing for their education. They actually integrated quite well, and their grades actually went up a couple points.
They took their music in a new direction. They integrated hip hop. They stayed relevant. The Eradicators had a long career after that. They learned to adapt.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, did you know that there's music made after 1959?"
I wouldn't believe it.
The same way that this movie is has a tenuous link to the original Rock and Roll High School. This movie serves as a loose prequel to a movie called Dangerous Minds. So that's
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can definitely see the through line there.
Uh-huh.
If only there was more music in what's the Jaime Escalante movie, -2 +
Stand
2
by
for the
Me.
whole Stand By Me.
Yeah. I did like
Yeah.
I did like Michelle Pfeiffer's mechanical claw hand in Dangerous Minds.
Stand and Deliver.
It was an interesting touch.
Oh yeah, oh shoot. Yeah, Stand By Me was the movie with like Principal Joe Clark. The principal with the baseball
No,
bat.
that's Lean on Me.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
Stand By Me is the Stephen King movie.
Oh yeah, where the kids find a dead body. Well, I know how much you love
Yeah.
Stephen King, Tim.
Oh, yes. God. I saw The Long Walk last night, and I wish I'd stayed home. But that's for another episode.
Yeah. Well, we'll dial up the long walk real soon. But yeah, so
Were we talking about racism, music,
oh yeah, well,
musical racism?
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty much the two main things.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you also have the
Yeah.
character of Namrock, which
He has a couple of lines.
He's just as important to the band and the friends as everybody else. That's why he's with them the whole movie.
That's true. I'm just shocked that he wasn't played by Getty Watanabe.
They probably couldn't afford him.
Probably, yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, I got to do 17 candles. Can't get out of my contract.
And the actor does appear
He
to
played
have
Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
played
Not
Donatello.
Liu Kang. Not Liu Kang. He was in. He played some guy named Chan. All right, never mind. I don't care. Whatever.
He was a legit martial artist.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. You can tell that
He's
he
also
has
in this.
legitimate martial arts chops. It's just that he's playing this like racist part in a bad movie where he has lines like "This no my pee."
Yeah.
I don't know if it's racist so much as just criminally underwritten. But so many of these roles are. Like, you have Corey Feldman, and then you have everyone else.
Corey Feldman is the cool fucking guy, and what else
Yeah.
do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have his black friend, the Asian guy, the girl, and then also like even the teacher that he's hot for, Trish or whatever. Like, she has like no inner life, as far as I can tell.
Redhead.
Yeah, that's her character. Her character is redhead. But yeah, the characters are just so shallow and one dimensional. It's really tough to engage with them. Giving this movie its fair due. It's comedy sequel.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. More fool me.
Did either of you notice that there is one other recurring character from the original in this movie?
Eagleburger.
Yeah, Eaglebauer.
Oh, I was close.
I didn't notice.
So he's Clint Howard in the original.
Yes. The handsomest man in movies at the time.
Pretty
Right,
much. Yeah.
Just he's great in everything.
And the dude who plays Eaglebauer in this one is very good too. He's intense in a pretty funny way, but it's super distracting because they keep cutting back and forth between shots where all of them are clearly in the same room and shots where they're clearly in separate rooms. And it's like maddening. I mean, that happens a lot in this movie, but I felt like it was really, really conspicuous in this scene.
Corman, baby.
Yeah, we aren't shooting this
I
twice.
wrote down, like I said, I only wrote 2 notes. One of which was about the Wikipedia page. And the other one was that it occurred to me around this point in the movie that this was like if Marvel directed a Twisted Sister video. Because like everybody's leaning into the camera the whole time. And like everything's like as really exaggerated high school stuff, but then also nobody's ever in the fucking same room with each other. And like it really colored the rest of my viewing experience once I picked up on that.
I can see that. Yeah, there is a Twisted Sister DNA in this. Like it has a lot of the same values as a Twisted Sister video.
Yeah. To opening scene where like the original principal and everybody is like in a room talking, and it's like these real tight, like leering looks at all their faces.
Yeah.
Felt it really set the tone. This absolutely felt like a Twisted Sister video.
All the like stodgy academics running a small high school, because that's the way it was. Like you go to college, you get your master's, your PhD, and then you come back and run a school of about 1,000 students.
Tim, you say small high school, and this brings up another thing that was really pissing me off. There's 2 dance scenes. There's 2 high school dances in this movie.
Huh.
They each appear to be attended by approximately 50 people. The school building itself looks gigantic.
Right.
There's never more than 4 cars in the parking lot. And the halls are like either crowded or desolate. I don't know what is going on here. There's like no clear head count on this school. I don't know. Maybe because it burned down, they're only reintegrating it like a grade at a time. But like that was first off, they established that was like 14 years ago. And I don't know, man. That was another very disorienting part of a very disorienting movie that was just low key upsetting me. And then by the time the prom scene hit at the end, I was like, all right, man, I give up. 50 people go here. 50 people go here. There's 3 teachers. There's 2 friend groups, and then everybody else just likes football. Somehow there are like 20 faculty members, though.
It's that administrative layer. They're all just like, like I think Jen says, it's like a Montessori school where they're in on the take. It's not even accredited. Someone just opened up they found a Superfund lot where a school had burnt down, and they're like, okay, we'll buy this from the city for $1. We'll call ourselves Rock and Roll High School. That's enough to get accredited in Arizona.
Yeah, this used to be a benzene plant.
Yeah, we got to do something about charter schools.
True.
Yeah, that's because they rock too hard. That's what we got to do something about.
Well, you laugh at Rock and Roll High School, but it was actually a California distinguished school. Several years running.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
I'll say this. At the beginning of the movie, we open with a shot of the statue of Ronald Reagan, for which the school is named after. And the whole movie, I was waiting for that statue to fall over and smash. And it does. And I was like, okay, movie, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I don't think it smashes. I think it just falls over, right?
No, I think it kind of like... Well, I mean, it's made of like plaster of Paris, so...
Yeah,
kind of
it looks like one of those
weirdly.
hollow Easter bunnies that has like flocking painted on it.
Yeah, it's definitely full of little chocolate eggs. Or maybe jelly beans, because it's Ronald Reagan.
Ooh. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
My favorite war criminal.
Fucking asshole.
He's just like us. Right.
I do appreciate... There is a shot where... it's when the girl, the chick in the band, has caused the yuppie girl to feel the need to vomit. And as the yuppie girl runs out of the class with her hand over her mouth, she runs right by a portrait of Ronald Reagan. I was like, yeah, that's how Ronald Reagan makes me feel too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, if you're like the goth girl or the weird girl, that's kind of like your only angle that you can play. Is you just be like more like gross and weird.
Yeah.
You can't be popular and you can't be like, cute or whatever. So you just got to like really go hard on being weird.
True. Like the witch girl. If you want to talk about underwritten characters, what exactly were they trying for with this?
Corey Feldman's friend needs a girlfriend. Notice that the black guy does not get a girlfriend, but Corey Feldman and the other guy in the band do.
Yes, white men deserve nice white women.
Right. Yeah, he needs a mother figure in this arts teacher, and then his friend also will date a witch.
Yeah. I really, really thought that they were going to do more with the whole she and her mom are witches thing.
Oh, by that point in the movie, I'd completely disabused myself of that notion. No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
Yeah, true. Fool
Your
me
character
once.
is witch. I don't know if you
Yeah.
figure it out.
Witch with some kind of eating disorder.
Yeah, she's got like pica or something.
The address of their house is on one of those fake tombstones you put out for Halloween. And the address of their house is 666 Dante Circle, which is actually really funny.
Yeah, that's cute. I mean, if that's your address, you kind of like, you have big shoes to fill. Like, you got to live up to that.
Yeah, you're in for a penny, in for a pound when you buy a
Right?
house.
Yeah. You're buying 12-foot tall skeletons at the Home Depot like every month.
They basically live in a Spencer's Gifts.
They live in a pretty nice house. Like, I mean, again, it's still like the spirit of the 80s where everyone is still like well off and can afford their own home. Even if you're like a witch and her like weirdo daughter. Still, like, of course they have a house.
Yeah. It's kind of like how people watch Fight Club now and they're like, wait, Edward Norton is mad because he has a job? What?
Dare to dream.
Yeah. If I can only afford a duvet.
Yeah, so 4 kids in a band go harass a marginalized, mentally sort of abnormal girl and her mom at home. They're the heroes, of course.
It's a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, her character is that she doesn't understand how food works. That's her
Yeah.
quirk, is that she legitimately doesn't understand how food is, and that's her thing.
So she eats fat.
Yeah.
Hey, fat, acid, salt, and heat. What else do you need? Oh, booze, I guess.
Yeah, and booze was the other one. Yeah.
If you extrapolate from that, and yes, I know that I'm being stupid, but, indulge me for a minute. If you extrapolate from that, it really sets up this weird, like, Carrie kind of relationship between Witch Girl and her mother.
Oh, she's
Probably.
tremendously neglected.
Yeah.
Like Child Protective Services also doesn't exist in this version of 1991, and like it's a big problem.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you aren't like neglected or like, neurodivergent. You're just weird, but everything else is the same.
The second she interacted with that lunch lady, any reasonable person at any real school would be on the phone with CPS or the police within like 45 seconds.
Why is your muttering daughter who won't make eye contact pointing at the piece of fat and putting that on like chocolate cake?
It was easily the most if you see something, say something moment of this movie.
Well, the school seems mostly concerned with like carceral style discipline, so I don't think they're probably.
She
too
explicitly
concerned
says
with
she doesn't care about test scores, which I think is cool.
Yeah. Now that's progressive schooling, if you ask me.
We're about discipline, not academic achievement.
It's definitely another point in favor of this being a Montessori school.
I like Dr. Vader's unorthodox approach. And yes, the villain is named Dr. Vader because that's how lazy this movie is.
And also that they have a prom about every month too. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Keeps up morale.
Yeah, every couple of weeks. That's prom again. Okay.
They got quite the budget, not only for decorating, but also for hiring bands, even though there's only 2 bands in town, as we said earlier.
No, they're not paying them.
That's true. They're paying them in like punch.
Yeah. They do have a decent food fight budget though, so that's good.
That's a pretty revolting scene. And I don't understand what motivated that exactly, apart from just like, we need a scene of mayhem. The Eradicators are unhappy that they're being asked to stick to a set list, which has been provided for them by Yuppie Girl. They act
You
out.
ever get the feeling you've been cheated?
So they act out by basically creating like a huge biohazard.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they do the Diet Coke Mentos thing with their mouth to everybody.
Yeah.
You thought Roger Waters spitting on one fan was cause for alarm.
I do not want to hear Corey Feldman's The Wall. I just refuse.
He's a legitimate musician, Jen. Come on, meet him halfway on this.
I would legitimately rather listen to Doug Walker's video on the wall.
I think Corey's Angels could pull it off. I think I want to hear him out.
Yeah, see, come on, The Wall too. It's about time.
That's another funny thing in the fan made documentary, which I cannot remember the title of, but I will link it in the show notes if any of you are sick enough to go watch it, like I did. The filmmaker, I forget who he's talking to from the crew, but he mentions like going to see Corey Feldman, like latter day Corey Feldman, with his like angels or whatever, and it might be one of the actresses actually.
Yeah, he's ride or die team Corey.
Yeah, and he says because he's like, oh, actually, I went to go see Corey Feldman recently, and the person who's interviewing says like, oh, I'm sorry. And then there's like kind of an awkward moment and then the filmmaker is like, well, actually, like I'm a big Corey fan, and she's like, oh.
I think that was Leanne Curtis. Like,
yeah,
that was the girl in the band.
Yes, yeah. Weird thing about Corey Feldman who looms large over this production, even though he was not present for the documentary. I guess he wasn't interested in being interviewed or contributing. But
I'm excited to hear a weird thing about Corey Feldman.
Yeah, breaking news.
In spite of the fact that he obviously had a somewhat detrimental effect on the production, all of the people interviewed are kind of quick to, even though they tell kind of unvarnished stories about his like behavior on the set or whatever, they're very quick to say like, oh, but actually, like, he's a good guy, he's a decent guy, like, he was always like really nice to me and like blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting like kind of a really negative spin on Corey Feldman, but
well, they were probably out of harm's way, basically. Like, they're just someone that, like, they work together, and then, Corey's antics tanked the movie, basically. Because even one of the actors is like, yeah, I'm gonna get residuals off of this, but then it isn't even released to theaters, and he's like, well, on to the next job.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure. First off, he's Corey Feldman. He's an order of magnitude more famous than anybody else involved with this movie.
Clearly.
He is, despite having like a drug problem and presumably being a big pain in the ass, he's like an incredibly charismatic like movie star that all these guys get to kind of glom onto.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he hurt the success of this movie. Let's be real. He may have like literally impeded its ability to get in theaters. That's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was it. And that they knew, like, oh no, Corey Feldman is really tanking. Like, this movie can never reach its full potential with Corey Feldman here. Like, there's nobody ever said
right. He wasn't holding the movie back for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
The movie was allowed to be what it was.
Well, he was holding the movie back the same way that when a guy pretends he wants to fight another guy and he yells at his friend, like, hold me back, bro, hold me back. That's how he was holding this movie back.
I could make this movie better. I just choose not to.
Yeah. And then the movie puked on itself and went to sleep in a parking lot.
That's Hollywood. We didn't talk much about the sort of ersatz antagonist, which is just the yuppies that I guess they get their own kind of B plot. Like, they're just fixated on their careers and they're horny for each other, but mostly for money.
Yeah, there's almost some satire in this where these are just like Reaganite, like Alex P. Keaton style Children of the Corn.
Right.
I mean, they tried. It's kind of there.
Something.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just pointed out they're not all horny. That one guy's not horny.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Was that Rusty from European Vacation?
Yeah, the guy who I keep wanting to call Anthony Michael Hall. Yes.
Right. Yes. No, he was from the first Vacation. You're getting your vacations confused. Yeah.
It took me. I had to pause the movie and go look at the IMDb page to get my head unscrambled on that one because I'm like, I've seen that guy. I have fucking seen that guy. I know I've seen that guy. And then like you look in every shot of him from every movie, he looks exactly the same. It's so awesome.
Wow, that's you want that kind of consistency.
Yeah, he's a great Rusty also.
Yeah, Rusty the European tour.
Uh-huh.
I honestly
that's a
keep
great
blanking
scene.
on that actor's name too. Like I'll look it up and then
It's
immediately
Jason
forget it.
something.
Oh,
Jason Lively.
Jason Lively.
Yeah.
Yes, of the.
That's
I think he's related to Blake Lively, actually, half siblings or
that's
something.
got to be so embarrassing too, because he comes up so often.
Also, I think related to Robin Lively of what's that movie where she's a witch? She's also in Karate Kid 3.
Look, I don't know.
Nobody knows or cares.
Yeah, no.
I'll kick it to you guys.
Yeah, because he's like an evangelical in the high school, and also there's the other yuppie who's like fixated on her career, and then there's the two other horny yuppies, and they finally have a tryst, and then they call the cops on them because and then they get sort of like embarrassment blackmail material to humiliate them at the prom. Like if they'd done that to maybe the witch girl, then you would have had a real Carrie moment. Like she would have gone full on psychic and killed half the school, which could have been between 5 and 25 people.
Buddy, I know you want to think that. She was just going to eat some garbage and make a stupid face.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But the important thing is they'll have one more shot in the scene that doesn't add anything.
Yes.
Just to wrap it all up.
So we haven't talked yet about the security guys who I fucking despised.
Oh yeah,
because,
pale copy of the original item in the first film.
The one dude is smiling like 2/3 of the time, no matter what. Like the scene calls for him, how it calls for him to emote. He just has this dumb grin on his face, which is like funny and infuriating in equal measure. And sometimes they're portrayed as just dumb guys or just drips, and then like they're southern hayseeds briefly, and it's just absolutely all over the place. I don't
whatever
like
the scene demands.
Yeah.
Like we need you to be a certain kind of dumb guy. Just whatever. Just play it dumb. Like any particular way. Just dumb. Stupid as the stupid does. Hey, I should write that down. They'll need that for a movie later.
They drug test the kids, and those dudes like are just in the bathroom with all the kids, like watching them all go to the bathroom.
Completely normal.
Yeah. Oh, it was a different time. You could just watch kids piss all day, and it wasn't weird.
If this had been made the better part of a decade earlier, like you could have had like Lenny and Squiggy for them, like Michael McKean and the other guy.
That's how I always think of them, Michael McKean and the other guy.
Like, that would have been a great comedic pair.
Not in this movie, it wouldn't, but I do get your point.
We haven't talked about the humiliation of Dr. Vader, which I am really against because this is just a woman living authentically in public. And they use it against her. I know she's a fascist and a sociopath, but she just wants to get her freak on with this, I guess, gay for pay porn actor who puts ads in the classifieds wanting to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because, he's a perfect honeypot for her because she loves discipline.
So this character is established. They want to embarrass her, the Eradicators, that is. They find this guy's classified ad and they hire him. He climbs on the hood of her car and says that he's bad and needs punished. And she's at the school and it's prom night. And she's just like, fuck it, we ball. And just
good for her.
It's like, but there is not a second thought. That's just like what she's going to do now. It's fine.
And they hired him with Corey's infinite money glitch.
Yes. She has a prosthetic hand that's a whip, which is very exciting. She is perving on this guy, and the one dude, Eaglebauer, is taping her for blackmail purposes. But also the hayseed security guys are peeking at her because they're drunk and it's fun. And the other legitimate
They did get drunk off of one single bottle of something. What's up?
I think they have a whole ass bottle of whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other time that I legitimately laughed at a line in this movie was when she's like licking that guy's chest and he's smoking a cigarette, and the one guy goes, "She's licking his bosom." That got me. It was another one. It was another one of those lines that just comes out right at the end before they cut away. And it was like, wow, that's great. You guys got me with that one.
You think the scene's over, but aha.
Yeah.
It's up there with
one little aperitif.
It's up there with lines like "This know my pee."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what they say is the hardest thing is to know oneself and to know one's own pee.
And like the refrigerator, the pee thing is like an elaborate bit that is almost like performance art in its ability to confound, because I'm not like a lot of these like school pranks, like you understand, like, you know, everybody flushing the toilets at the same time to fuck up the plumbing. It's like, yes, okay, I get that. Pretending to drink your own piss in front of school officials, that's a little more avant-garde.
Yeah, well, remember, Jen, like, rebellion is at its core about harmless pranks and messing with people's lockers. But yeah, in this, I admire their commitment to the bit of being like, we're going to fill these with apple juice, and we're going to swap them and pretend to drink each other's piss. Like, that is a great gross out gag. Like, the work that went into that, you know, respect the craft.
Yeah. When they drink their pee in order to gross the guys out, the one guy goes, like, he turns up the Cletus dial to like 100%. And he's grinning like a maniac the whole time that he's supposed to act disgusted. And then he just goes like, that's disgusting. And it's fucking, it's just another one of these moments that happens in this movie where I'm like, what am I watching? What is going on? It's
just in case you thought the scene was over. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really long. They linger on his face for like several seconds before he says it. And
You're
again,
right,
he's like grinning. Like if you've ever played LA Noire and a guy, you're like interrogating someone and they lie and they make this insane fake face. Like that's what his face looked like. And like, I don't know. It was another moment that just completely.
It's his tell.
Yeah, I'm pressing X. Like,
yeah. Press X to react to someone drinking their own pee.
He's actually super into piss drinking, and he's trying not to let on, but he's having a real hard time.
Yeah.
Like let me try and turn this grin into a grimace.
Yeah, like,
which is kind of what. I don't know if like this is on purpose or if it's just like a misdirection, but that kind of happens at the end when they're humiliating, you know, Mary Warrenov's character by like showing the video of her like abusing this sub when like she'd been kind of telegraphing that she has like facial tics from all the stress, but then she like looks at the monitor and like she like pulls up the side of her mouth, but it doesn't look like a tic. It looks like her being like, yeah, that's right. But then like immediately clamps it down.
She's going to want a copy of that tape for later.
Right, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, dog, look at me.
Yeah. Like,
all right.
That.
That's so sick.
Yeah. It's like, oh, no, wait, I'm at school. I have to be upset about this.
And, you know, this is just a successful professional woman enjoying the full flowering of her sexuality. So, of course, they want to tear her down for that. It's very sex negative.
Yeah,
she's really licking on that guy's chest.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she's one of the, you know, Andy Warhol's hangers on. So, yeah, she knew it was what.
I gotta say, like, how often does one get a home run like this from a fucking newspaper classified ad in, like, the sexy personals? Because, like, I'm like, okay, well, you accidentally set Dr. Vader up with, like, the most dynamite date night of her life.
Yeah. Back then, the only success stories you had were that guy and the people from the Pina Colada song.
It's like a story straight out of like Penthouse Forum.
Yeah. It's like, it makes me think of in Tough Guys Don't Dance when Ryan O'Neal's character is looking in Screw and he's like, hey, let's go fuck this couple in North Carolina or whatever. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's the way it was done then. Yeah, you only had a landline phone. You had to cross 2 state lines to go find another swinging couple.
I mean, one of them is Penn Jillette, but fuck it, let's do it anyway.
Let's do it here on Comedy Central.
Well, I don't know if we have much else to say about Rock and Roll High School Forever.
Well, can we finish and then just let the podcast go on a little too long?
Yeah, you know, if you got any bits that are like confusing and don't really work, like please, like let's lay them all out on the table.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna think of something really stupid to say out of nowhere 5 seconds after everybody agreed to stop talking.
This movie is pretty freely available. Don't worry about like
no one's coming after you if you pirate this. It's fine.
Yeah, it's on the Internet Archive. It's on YouTube. It's I don't know where you guys watched it, but it was easy enough for me to find. But Patrick, is there anything else that you want to say about Rock and Roll High School Forever?
I'm vaguely apologetic for suggesting this movie. I was like very morbidly curious to get back to it. But this was the first movie like this in a long time that I started watching and was just like, no. That I literally.
Oh, what
the
have
only
I
other
done?
time I had to watch part of Ted 2 one time for a podcast.
Wow.
And it was out of context. Yeah. Brian Quimby, before he started the Guys podcast, when he was just doing his Patreon,
Yes.
he did a series called Welcome to My TED Talk that was just having different people come on with zero context and just review 30 minutes of part of each of the Ted movies. And I got hit with the final 30 minutes of Ted 2. And I remember it was 30 minutes I had to watch, and it took me like 3 days. And I remember at some point the movie made me earnestly laugh, and I got mad about it. And this movie gave me like a really, really similar sensation where I was like, I can't do this all at once. My wife was like, oh, we had a lot of fun watching Blood Diner if you want to watch it. I'm like, I watched the beginning of this movie. I don't want to watch this movie with you. Like, it's going to be miserable.
Yeah.
I care too much about you.
Yeah, that's like a miserable experience. Like watching a bad movie and you're just sitting with it. And I have to like pay attention. So it's not like we can just kind of sit back and riff on it or whatever. So yeah, this was brutal. It was fun to catch the little nostalgia when there would be like shots that I like really vividly remembered watching in like my parents' basement when I was like 13. So it wasn't all bad, but it was like bad, like pretty bad.
Yeah, you kind of get the vibe of the movie after like the first 10 or 20 minutes, and you're like, okay, well, just got to soldier through. People are depending on you.
It takes a long time to get to the third act.
It does, yeah, because
it like really meanders until it hits.
There's so much dicking around where it's like we just got to hit all the things that like the kids like, high school stuff. But it's like, what is this about?
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard.
No, they don't establish anything. Like ostensibly, you do that because you're like establishing things. Either it's stakes or character development or something, and they don't. They just don't.
They don't. They set it all up in the original Rock and Roll High School. They're like, look, we aren't going to tread any of this familiar territory. It's an indulgent movie that just celebrates itself.
Well,
like, we already did all that.
Well, and the original does have quite a bit of heart to it. I mean, I was really surprised when I watched it and discovered that it opens with like kind of a wistful Paul McCartney song, of all things, which kind of sets up the relationship between the smart girl and the dumb jock who can't think of anything to say to girls except, hey, nice weather we're having, or whatever. The way this movie starts is, it's not the very first shot of the movie, but the second shot is Corey Feldman in, I think, a school restroom, leaning on what you will eventually extrapolate to be a detonator for TNT, except you can't really tell because the way it's shot, it just is like, oh, it's Corey Feldman. He's leaning on something and then doing a take directly to the camera. And then on in the next shot, and I was like,
bathroom stuff.
Yeah. And then I was like, wow, that is a terrible way to start your wacky comedy.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a palindrome where if every scene in this movie is going to end weird, you might as well start the whole movie weird too.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, Jen, maybe you're misunderstanding. It's not a comedy. It's just a movie about how Corey Feldman is cool.
It's a movie that makes brave structural choices to tell a pretty deep metatextual story about how Corey Feldman is cool.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It's as avant-garde as the piss drinking bit.
Had eyes to see.
I think Tim is probably ready to kill me at this point, but, Patrick, don't feel bad about picking this one because I did enjoy it in like a weird, stupid, awful way, probably because it's so stupid. It's so stupid that, in fact, I immediately recommended it to show a friend of the show, Bitter Corella, because this is exactly the kind of shit that she enjoys. So
Yeah,
thank you for that.
It's the movies you can't make hay out of that are the tough ones, but I wouldn't say that this is a movie that we couldn't have had some fun with.
Indeed.
Yeah, this was fun to talk about. It was just a rougher watch than I expected. I will say though,
it's no Blood Diner.
no. I will say though, like I have a personal weakness for Corey Feldman, no matter how bad this movie was. Like he is sort of like just an inherently like charming guy, even if he's irritating beyond belief in this movie. There's still something like not atrocious about just watching him like ham it up for the camera for an hour or whatever. There's worse things.
It does make me want to watch The Lost Boys again.
I wonder if you've seen him in the 1997 direct-to-video movie Busted.
Oh my God. I remember that being at the video store, and like I watched every bit of garbage back then, and now I'm real curious.
That will test your patience or your affection for Corey Feldman.
Oh, I
tried
remember that.
watching.
It's the two Coreys, and he directed it, and Elliot Gould is in it. Oh wow.
Man,
this is a hell. Okay, this heading in Wikipedia is one paragraph, and it's beautiful. Busted is a 1997 comedy film starring Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, and Elliot Gould. The film marked Corey Feldman's directorial debut. Due to his frequent absences and drug use during filming, Haim was eventually fired by Feldman. Feldman later said it was one of the hardest and most painful things he ever did. That's
when Corey Feldman thinks
that's Corey lore, dude. When you get kicked out of the Coreys, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything turned out fine for Corey Haim.
Yeah.
I need to edit that article, though, because it does say 1997 comedy film. I'm going to see if I can delete that right now.
I don't necessarily object to it being called a comedy, but I think there needs to be a higher threshold for what we call a film.
More to the point, yeah.
I think we need to gatekeep the notion of a movie versus a film. I think that needs to be a much stiffer distinction than it currently is.
So have you back for Busted?
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, you can show your support by going to patreon.com/haveyouseenthis and make a pledge at the $2 or $5 tier. $5 a month gets the latest episode before everyone else, plus access to our Discord, where we're always arguing about movies. If you'd like to give us a tip, our Ko-Fi link is in the show notes.
The rare corollary, failure has many fathers. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm sorry.
The rare Corey Larry.
Oh, nice.
God.
Corey Feldman and Larry Haim, right? That's it, the corollary?